work? I don't know if that worked. I don't know if this is working. I think I'm doing this all wrong. Damn. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I'm not going to lie to you. We'll see. We'll see. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, guys. I don't do live. I just wanted to go live to hang out. Can you guys actually hear me? Is the volume all right? Sorry about that. Trying to figure this out. Trying to get some stuff to do, hang out with y'all. I just put the kids down to sleep, so by myself maybe an hour or two to hang out. So it's kind of why I wanted to do around 1 o'clock. So hopefully it works out. I'm just using the computer, my cinema display camera. So nothing too fancy here. I'm not sure. I can kind of see it's a little hot, but let me know if you guys can deal with that. What's going on, guys? What's up, Kelly? Hey, Eric. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll probably hang out for a little bit. I just I don't really do this that much, and I think it's it's an interesting time, and it's Sunday. Maybe you guys are just lounging out. So for now, I can just keep me posted on audio and video how it works out, and then of course, if you guys have a bunch of questions, throw them in the chat, and I'll go through that. I'll just kind of give maybe a couple minutes to get some people who might want to join some time. And then we'll go through some questions and answers. I know you guys threw some questions up on the community tab, so I appreciate that. And I'll answer some of those questions as well. We'll go through some stuff, and hopefully I can just kind of interact with you guys. So this is kind of cool. All right. And let me know how it goes too. Especially these times, a lot of people are, of course, waiting for new drone stuff. And, it's supply chain's been kind of crushed. A lot of people were out, not producing much of anything. So, for a lot of the drone channels in general, it's challenging, but at the same time, it kind of pushes us to create different types of content. And, hopefully you guys are okay with that for a little bit. Definitely want to provide things. And what I want to actually do with you guys too is just give you guys a little bit more insight of what's happening. And, I'm pretty transparent with you guys when I tell you and talk to you guys about products. So I always want to keep that, first and foremost, the most important thing. And get you guys kind of video and shoot stuff as I go, as I learn. I know I'm gonna try to share everything with you, because if I'm going through some issues with, a drone or what's happening with it, I'm sure other people are too. So I just wanted to address some of those things. So yeah, cool. I mean, I'll get into it, but let me know if audio is not the best. Like I said, I'm shooting on my computer camera, but audio is okay. If you guys let me know if audio is okay, just put a little yes in there, and then I can kind of continue. Yeah, let me know where you guys are from. I'm over here in San Diego, in California. So we're one, of course, of the like 6 or 7 places that are in lockdown. I think I didn't watch. I wasn't sure if there was actually a address this morning, but I didn't see if there was like a full lockdown across the nation or not. So I'm over here in San Diego and Cali. We're on lockdown unless you have to leave and get some food and necessities. So this morning I got I had to actually drop off some stuff to a friend of mine as well as with my parents. And then while I was driving, I figured since I was driving, I was like, okay, well, what I want to actually get some shots while I was driving. So I took my 360 camera out and drove around a couple areas that are normally pretty busy, and just did a couple 360 shots. Well, not really 360 shots, but just stuck it out my sunroof so that I can show you guys kind of how dead it's been around our areas. I kind of went through downtown, the main area in downtown, and a few other spots. So I'll make sure I get those up just to give you guys a little bit more context on what's happening here in California. So yeah, that's what's going on. Awesome to see a bunch of drone friends up in here. So what's up, Steve, Eric, Russ, I think I saw you, Russ, over here. Kelly, Redis at Drone. I'm sure there's a bunch of other in here. And, this is something to do. I'm not going to try to take up too much of your guys' time. It's just kind of like a little hangout. And I wanted to change it up a little bit on this Sunday. So let me see here. I'll kind of start from the top and kind of go through and give you guys a little bit of updates, what's been happening on my end. I know a lot of people have been asking what's going on with the Evo 2. What's interesting is that I might as well start there. Let me actually get it. Hold on. So if you guys are okay with that, you guys want to start with, you want to talk a little bit about the Evo? All right. So this guy, right? The Evo 2. A lot of people have been asking about this. And I actually saw, I think it popped up on my feed. Whoa, just got super hot for some reason. It actually popped up on my feed that I think some people have been getting them, or a couple people got them, because I saw like this one person posted like 8 videos or 5 videos about it, which is kind of cool. So what's interesting is that supposedly they went out, or I don't know if they went out yet, but people are getting them one way or another. And God, this is terrible. It's like super hot on my face. People have been getting them, or at least a couple of people got them that I saw that actually posted a video. So yeah, the Evo 2 is something that I'll be honest with you, I haven't really gotten any new info from it, except if you guys have seen my previous video, I did talk a little bit about what happened. I mean, there was of course, the supply chain stuff, and this whole virus issue came up, and they had to shut down stuff. But from what I know, that's a lot of the companies now have been back at starting to go back to the actual production houses and warehouses, and back to the manufacturing. Still a lot of people that aren't required to be there for manufacturing purposes are still working at home. So a lot of people are still working at home, as far as like the people that I converse with. So I've been actually emailing them for the past week now, and honestly, I've gotten little to no response. And so it was kind of surprising to see a couple people get them, and I saw a couple of people get them. But what's interesting is I don't know if I'm assuming they got the production model, or if they got a pre-production model. So I'm not sure, which is interesting. So yeah, we'll see within these next week or two. But from what I hear, not many people have gotten any updates. And I'm even close to, GPC and Rick, and Rick is one of the people that also was in contact with them, because he and GPC are the ones who normally make the rugged bundle, or the case for Evo when they come out with the rugged bundle. And same thing, he hasn't really heard too many updates from them as well as of recently. So it's pretty interesting to hear and see of what's happening with them. But they've been posting on their social media, so I know there's someone back there doing something. But that's kind of what is happening at this point. So let me scroll back up, and I just want to say what's up to everybody. I think that's kind of cool. We have like 100 people in here, or almost 100 people. So yeah, drone viral. What's going on? T-side, Jeremy. Josh, and I can't pronounce your name. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sue, Jess, Satish, Antonio, Chris. We'll go all the way down. I'm definitely going to give you guys some shout outs too. But I do want to answer some questions. And I think the first question that came up, or a lot of people that have been asking on my comments section here, is around the Autel, right? How come I'm not doing a range test? So let's just talk about that. Range tests are something that I just don't normally do. I've done multiple videos on DJI stuff all the way through to this one. And it's not that I don't want to do them. The thing is, in order for me to do it properly, I probably have to get out of where I am, which I'm also in kind of a dense suburbia town. I'm going to have to drive over to like Temecula or something and to do a range test. And then when I go out, I normally am by myself. So when you do a range test, you're going to want somebody at point A and also ideally point B. And that's just not something that I have been trying to plan for at this moment. So to do a range test properly, I don't personally feel like I want to throw it over the water for 3 miles and 4 miles, whatever it's want to be rated for. I just don't, I don't have the land here where I feel like I'm comfortable doing it. And it's nothing new with the Evo. There was no, hey, don't do a range test. And a lot of people have questioned me about, maybe Autel told him not to do it because it doesn't actually go that far. And the answer, I already talked about that in my previous video. They didn't give me any restrictions on anything. So anything that I've talked about, everything I've done is really just on my own. And like I said, the range tests, I personally do stuff and give you guys videos on things I do. I don't fly out 3 miles. So I don't feel like I want to push that boundary for the sake of pushing the boundary. I'm sure there's going to be people who love doing it, and I gladly leave those videos up to them. There's a lot of people that will get their Evo or get their Mavic and go, oh my gosh, it does do 3 miles, or it doesn't do 3 miles. The thing with range tests, it's very, very, dependent on environment. And people, and I don't care if I go out to the middle of nowhere, Russ. Yeah, come to North Dakota. That would be definitely something that would be a lot easier probably for me to do. But even if I did that in the middle of nowhere and did a 4 mile range test, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, awesome! It does 4 miles," and then the next person's going to basically say, "Well, that's great, but do it in downtown, or do it in a city, or do it where there's buildings." You're never going to have an ideal situation. I will normally just do my test based on how I fly and not try to, really push it too much to where I feel like it's just uncomfortable. And like I said, I'll leave that to a lot of people who love doing that stuff, who might be in an area that can do it and has that space and the luxury to fly that far, ideally line of sight, maybe have somebody a little further away. So there's plenty of opportunities for people out there to definitely do and add a lot more content to these platforms of doing range tests. So yeah, not that I was told not to do it. I wasn't told anything. It's just something I just don't have the luxury of doing at this moment. I'm not going to tell my wife to go and I'll go drive down 3 miles and hopefully I'll get to you. It's just not something I felt like doing. And it's not nothing new with the Evo. I never did it with the Mavics. I never did it with any of the Phantoms. I just don't normally do range tests. So I apologize if people are very upset that I'm not doing them. It's just I don't like pushing it. If it says it's rated for 5 miles, I say good for 2.5 miles. that's kind of I just play the halves, right? If it's good for 2 miles, I say that means it's good for a mile. And then if I'm in a downtown high-rise area, it's literally good for a couple thousand feet or 1,000 feet, as long as I'm not flying behind a building. You just kind of have to understand that it's all situational, and it's very, very hard to give people accurate information about it. Besides things that I can control, I can control what the camera output is to an extent, right? I can control my settings. I really can't control the frequency environments that I'm in. And I don't think it's fair for me to say, oh my gosh, FlytPath is getting 3 miles. I should get 3 miles. Well, I don't know. They rate it for whatever it is, 4 or 5 miles. So I cut it in half and I say it's rated for 2 miles, reliably, but it's also probably rated for lower than that once you get around a really busy area. So that's something different though. As far as when people ask me about range tests and other things like that, you have to also look at the type of platform it's under, even the Mavic Mini, it's rated for a couple miles, but it's also Wi-Fi based. So you want to be able to understand a little bit different, so that there's a limitation on that Wi-Fi transmission, that even though it's rated for 2 miles or whatever it is, once you're in a city limits or you're behind a building or a hill, that transmission is almost instantly going to start cutting out. So you just have to understand that. I think that's more of the understanding portion of it than it is just trying to read the spec and say, well, it should go, 10 miles. So that's kind of what it is. But I wanted to knock out all of the types of videos I felt like meant a little bit more or what people want to see. So, but thanks for, of course, keep asking those questions. I definitely want to address those as they come up. Any news? Let's see here. Evo news on the release. So, like I said, the release of the Evo 2, I have nothing from my contacts about when it's supposed to come out. There was a couple more people that seem to have gotten them. I actually saw one person recently, I think yesterday, where they actually were comparing like the dual camera on the Evo. So somebody has the dual camera, the thermal, and they were comparing it to the Enterprise. So, some people have stuff out there, which is cool. I mean, it's, I'm upset in a way because I never got my camera replaced. As you guys saw in the videos, asking me about what's going on with my footage, I go, well, I don't know. They told me that there was a focus issue on the pre-production cameras on the Evo 2, and ideally they were going to send us out new cameras to do a swap on these, but they never did. So I'm waiting, of course, just like most people are waiting for it, for some updates. So that's a little update on what's happening as far as the Evo 2 goes. And like I said, just keep asking some of the questions. I'll definitely relay those over and get you guys some of the answers as fast as I can. Yeah, range test. Donald asked about picture quality. Yeah, and some people have said, how come I haven't done anything new with the Evo? I'm not going to do anything new with it as far as the camera quality goes. There's no point at this point to try to put out more videos on the quality, knowing that there's that issue. So yeah, that's kind of why I haven't done that. I mean, I could do some other tests on like obstacle avoidance and things like that. So that might be in the works, but I definitely put out some content on the Evo, and I did want to change it up, take a little break from that. So yeah, let's keep going up. Hopefully, I'll ask any idea when you might get your hands on the Evo. When I might get a hands on the Evo 6K. So Timothy Levine, how's it going? Evo 6K 1-inch. Like I mentioned, I have no idea. Once I get, maybe they're waiting to send out both. I don't know. So I need to get a new update. Apparently, it's not going to be updatable through the firmware because they said they're going to send me a new camera. So I'm assuming that what the focus issue was, that it was camera related and not just firmware related, which is pretty interesting because a lot of times, even like with the DJI stuff, they normally could fix that with firmware. A lot of the Mavics and the Phantoms actually had a lot of issues with the camera when they first released. So, but they were able to fix it with firmware. So it was interesting to hear my rep over there say that they're going to send me out a new camera, which means there might be some issue with the focus on the camera. So when it comes down to the 6-inch, I mean, who knows? There might be people already on YouTube that might already have the 6-inch 6K 1-inch camera on the Evo. I have to take a look at that and maybe do some more research on that. Kelly, Reddit drone, what is going on? I know I saw it. You just posted a picture. That's awesome. You got the Mavic 2 Pro, got it all set up. And I think you have another question is, what do you think are the advantages of the Mavic 2 Pro over the Zoom? I mean, the biggest thing is I think just the picture quality in general. The Mavic 2 Pro picture quality just looks so good. It's hard to replace a larger sensor or hard to compete with larger sensors in general. Mavic 2 Zoom is a great camera as well. It's just, if just like any camera, you put a camera side by side, one with a larger sensor in general, it's just the quality of that is just a lot better of a quality coming out of the camera. Yeah, you might be able to do some other stuff with the zoom, which is really good. A little more creativity with the zoom. But yeah, I think now that you got the Mavic 2 Pro, you'll definitely see a quality difference that you might not have seen before with some of the other ones, because all the other ones are pretty similar as far as sensor and camera size with the 1/2 sensor. So yeah, give me an update. Give everyone an update on that once you get that footage up there. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed to Kelly over at Ready Set Drone. Nearly all closed down here in Denmark. Oh man, what's going on? Hey, how's it going over? What's up, Benny, over in Denmark? Ooh, Eric, what's your most dangerous drone photography photo? Man, dangerous? I'm not sure about dangerous. I steer away from most dangers. I think it's not the photo that's a dangerous part. It's just the environment. I mean, once you can trust the platform, then you start worrying about all of the other elements around you. So I'm in San Diego. So the issue here is the dangerous part is flying at the beach and there's seagulls. That's honestly the most dangerous part about flying is the seagulls here, birds, and then just, possibly having to deal with the public. Ideally, I don't normally deal with the public because I'm normally away from everybody. But the only other dangerous stuff that I would say I've gotten close to doing is some of like long exposure photos and things like that, where you need to like really stay still in the air. Then you have like some, like I said, other external elements that are messing with you. So that's the only thing. Whoa, MDUAS, thank you so much. Not expecting anything from you guys, and anything that came through is awesome. Wow. Thanks for that chat. Appreciate it. Happy Sunday, everybody. Thanks, Metro Drones. I really appreciate that. So yeah, Kelly, good. Steve Carpenter, what is going on? You're up the street from me, and by up the street, I mean you're up in still in Southern California, but it's a little up there. Dana Point area, Ontario, Paul from Ontario, Cyprus. What's going on from Boston? Craig, Brent, Timothy. Texas stores are closed except for necessities. Oh man, so it's moving. Do I have the Tello from Drone Vow? Yes, I do have the Tello. Made a bunch of videos from it before. Had some fun flying that indoors, but I mean that's about it. It's really just a fun indoor toy, and I think when I got like the cage for it, then it felt a little more fun in a way, because I would just kind of bang it around the house and not have to worry about it too much. But the Tello is a pretty fun one. All right, let's go to your questions here. I went to fly my Mavic 2, but it was too windy. Skydio 2 manufacturing. Any delay on Skydio 2? I don't know. I didn't order a Skydio 2. I was going to order it last year when it came out, when everyone else got it. But then, right when I was about to place my order, which was pretty funny, which is kind of funny now I think about it, is that when I was going to place my order, when it came out, I think it was like in November, it said like it's not going to ship till like May or something. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so far away. And now here we are in end of March. I probably should have ordered it. But by the time, I probably would have gotten it by then. So yeah, maybe I should have gotten it. I definitely do want to get it. And I think Skydio 2 is one of those drones where, I'll be honest with you, I feel like Skydio is the drone that GoPro wished they made. Or GoPro should just buy out Skydio or whatever it is. But because it seems like that is the drone to have to do exactly what it's supposed to do, and that is be amazing at following and obstacle avoidance. And I think that's kind of where, adventure seekers are with GoPro. It seems like that would have been a really good purchase for GoPro to just buy the Skydio and label that as the GoPro drone for action sports. That's just my thoughts on that. Because seeing, some of the stuff that come out of it, yes, you can get some great footage and things like that, but that thing seems amazing when it comes down to obstacle avoidance. I mean, it's like you're driving around a Tesla drone in a way. So awesome on Skydio. I definitely want to play around with it once it comes my way, or if someone around me might have one to just play with. I definitely would like to check that out. Let's go through. Haven't flown, learned a lot. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Let me go down to the bottom, answer a couple more questions here. Clarify what you're saying. Phase 1 Evo, okay, correct. Timothy Levine, sorry. To clarify, you're saying that people are receiving Phase 1 Evo 2 with 8K, correct? As far as he knows, anyone received email. Yeah, like I said, I saw somebody received an Evo 8K. I'm assuming it's the new production. I would hope, but I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody about it. Let's see, Matthew, Doug, what's going on, Doug? What's going on, Matthew? Thanks, Steve. Yeah, if you guys are around, and if I've ever given you guys some help, a like would be appreciated. That'd be kind of cool. Skydio manufacturing and shipping shut down due to COVID. Yeah, everything is shut down. Can you do a review on Skydio? I would love to, Matthew, if I get one. Why do you need filters and how do they work? From Olivier? Definitely have a lot of videos on filters for drones. And how do they work? Basically, you just want to be able to get some natural blur in your video. And a lot of people, even myself, I've done a lot of videos on filters. It does take some time to understand them and to actually see a difference. If you're just watching, for the most people, you're not going to know. Especially with drones, you're so far up in the air sometimes that even if you didn't have a filter on and you're shooting at a higher shutter speed, it's really hard to tell. A lot of it you could tell only if there's a lot of motion or things happening in the video. So if you're a little bit lower to the ground, you're a little bit closer, and you want to dial in that shutter speed to be 2 times your frame rate. So if you're shooting at 4K, 30, you're going to want your shutter speed at 1/60th. But you're limited now. You're limited on what you're able to do, especially if you're flying anything else besides like a Mavic 2 Pro, where you have manual adjustments. So it's a lot more tricky and a lot more difficult for a lot of people to do or understand. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of videos on my channel about filters and how they work and how I go about dialing them in. So Olivier, check those out if you have some time. What's going on, Ron? Kelly, registered drone. Yeah, agreed. Range tests are stressful and questionable legally. Yeah, I can get. I mean, like I said, you can get a lot of views. Absolutely, you can definitely get some. But I mean, I'm not too worried about that. If I wanted to get even more views, I would just keep pumping out Mavic Mini videos up to now. I mean, that's the most straightforward way of just getting views. But I want to be able to give you guys kind of videos as I'm doing them. So I'm not currently flying my Mavic Mini like all the time. I've been flying the Evo, or I was flying the Evo until I got that email. But yeah, I kind of just shoot as I go, and when I learn something, I will then take it back, figure out how I can produce a video around that to make it a lot clearer for you guys. So. Views for range tests, absolutely, it'll definitely be there, and I'll leave that to the people that get them and like to do range tests. Bought the Mavic Mini, Sir bought the Mavic Mini. I have one question about Sony cameras. Shall I buy the A7 III or wait for the new models? I mean, A7 III, I love my A7 III, but honestly, it's been sitting, and I only normally use it for photos. When I'm out with my kids, and I'm in an area where I'm going to be able to actually sit down and shoot, where I know I'm always going to be behind the camera, I'll bring out my A7 III, or if I know I'm going to be in somewhere that's low light, I'll bring my A7 III. But my main camera is my A6600, my A6400, which is right here, and then action cameras, the Osmo Action and the GoPro, I will bring around with me, and also the Insta360 1R. Let's see here. I'm more interested in video feed. It starts to break up. That's true, Mark. Yeah, that's a big thing. When does the video feed start breaking up? That's for me. I think that's the big thing. But same thing along those lines. It's very dependent on your environment. It's hard for there's a lot of times when I'm flying my Evo, and I could have a half mile, a mile away, and it's just butter all the way through. And there's sometimes I've flown it where you kind of trying to get some movement in the air, and all of a sudden it'll say like transmission, and it'll kind of keep flashing up. So, I mean, it's definitely hit or miss. I think I do have a lot more transmission errors or pop-ups on the Evo than I do the Mavic, but I'm not going to fully compare those just yet until I know that the Evo has been updated with whatever they're going to be doing updated next. Let's see here. Mavic 2, yeah, overall, you should fly like cinema drones. Matthew, yeah, definitely. Like, it's crossed my mind, right? There's so many things out there that you can start with and do, and I would love to, try getting into that a little bit more. However, with 3 kids, sometimes the time I have, I know that the FPV is really manual, labor intensive, and nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to make excuses for that. I do want to get into it, and I don't mostly want to get into, not necessarily to make cinematic footage. Oh, that's one big reason, but it's also just to be a little bit more understanding of the build, right? I think I had a really good time doing the build on even something like the RoboMaster, of just doing a ground up build. It'll be really interesting when DJI, if they ever do one for drones, that's very similar, to kind of be that gap in between a FPV build and an out of a box one. So it would be kind of like part of the STEM or STEAM environment, where you are now plug and playing and doing everything and building a drone the same way we built the RoboMaster. That would be really, really cool if they came out with something like that. All right, so let's see some more questions from you guys. Let me actually go down to and scroll back up and backwards. I actually sold it, ready to drone. I do have my Phantom 1. That is the only drone I don't have anymore, is my Phantom 1. I actually sold it to a friend of mine a long time ago. I don't know if I even sold it. Yeah, I think I sold it to him probably for a couple $100 or something. But of all my drones I have, that's the only one I don't have anymore, as well as my white Mavic Pro white Mavic Pro, the Alpine white one. I don't have that one. I actually gave that one to my cousin, and now I kind of miss it. All right, let's see here. Yeah, sorry if I'm missing some of your questions. Actually, throw them back in there if you can. That way, because I'm actually super slow at this, as you guys can tell. I'll try to answer the questions a little bit quicker, so then I can answer more questions. Let me scroll back up. Mavic filters, Mavic mini filters. Not too many I've played with yet. Just that one I did from before, as well as I have one from, what is it called now? Tiffin. I have a Tiffin set that I haven't played with yet, but I did get that one in. I definitely want to do a little bit more on the filter side of the mini. It's just so frustrating when you can't control or look at the settings on video. And that's the reason why I would do and focus it more on the photo side, because I can control that. On the video side, you can't. Only thing you can really do is the exposure. What is my opinion on the SwitchPod? I love my SwitchPod. Tech for your drone or tech for your needs. Yeah, I like my SwitchPod. I think I have another one right here. Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody, but I just like how it's slim. I have when you carry around the Joby, it sticks out so much that I almost don't want to carry it with me, where this thing is pretty awesome. They came out with their own ball head. And but I've been using the Joby ball heads, which is cool, which is fine. But I do like it. I did add in a little bit more magnets here at the bottom, because that way when it's closed like this, it doesn't open up. Before, it would open up if you didn't have these. So a little Cody Warner hack, added some magnets on there. So pretty cool. Yeah, addressing everyone that's asking about the Mavic Air 2. I haven't gotten any news on the Mavic Air 2. I did see some video or some photos. I guess they're leaked or whatever they are. Whatever it is, we don't know. I mean, it says Mavic on there, but I don't know if it's a Mavic Air 2. I don't know if it's a replacement for anything. I know just as much as most people do that there is something. And those leaks are pretty. I mean, they're good for what it is, right? It means that there's something happening, as long as it looks like it's a DJI product, and it's about time, right? There's a lot of people are asking for the Mavic 3. I don't think we'll see a Mavic 3, in my opinion, because I just don't know at this point what they're going to bring out for the Mavic 3. There's a lot of speculation around it, but I mean, anything bigger and badder than the Mavic 2 at this point also makes me wonder what's the price jump going to be. So if they come out, say, for a Mavic 3, and we'll just say everything specs get bumped up. We'll say it's a little bit better video. I would assume that maybe the camera would be very similar. But then, I mean, you push into like a $2,000, $2,500 range, and I think that's harder to swallow for most people. And on that end of saying, like, okay, a Mavic 2 is 15 to 1,700, a Mavic 3 would be 2,000, 2,500. I just don't know if they need to go that route yet, and if they do, what would be that holy cow moment, right? Is it going to be something like changeable lenses that everyone wanted to see on the Phantom? Is it going to be a micro somehow a micro four thirds? Some way they're able to manufacture a smaller micro four thirds camera, very similar to what's the X Dynamics. But I mean, you look at X Dynamics, that's still a pretty big chunky camera and a chunky drone that it has to fly on. So definitely going to be hard to fit that on there. But I mean, I don't know. Like, all they have to do is make the Mavic Pro frame another step bigger to contain it, the same way they made everything smaller to make the Mini. So I don't throw it out the door of a possibility, because all they have to do is upscale the Mavic Pro 2 to be 25% bigger, and there you go. Now you can possibly hold a bigger battery, bigger motors, a bigger camera, and there it is. So the same way they just basically shrunk the Mavic 2 into the Mini, I'm sure they can just do the exact opposite and bump up the size of that Mavic 2 Pro to contain or house a bigger camera. So we'll see exactly what that is. And yeah, the Mavic 2 is still, I mean, anyone you talk to in the drone field that uses the Mavic 2, I mean, I don't think there's really anyone saying anything bad about it, besides it would have been nice to have like 4K 60, but that's still a small percentage of people that actually are using it and really need it. And if you are, I think, if you really, really need it, and that's part of something that you have to have, then you would get the Phantom 4 Pro V2, right? If you're dependent on that, then you would bump it up. Yeah, a lot of questions with the photos that were leaked. I don't really talk about stuff on until I know and I have it in my hand and I know more about it. Um, there's a bunch of a few photos have been leaked out there of something new, and feel free to do your speculations on those. I will normally always talk when I have something solid, and I know a release date or I know a product that I have with me, and then you guys will know, because you'll see about 10 videos come out back to back to back. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, if you guys are have more questions, feel free to put those in there. I'm going to go through. Thanks, Steve, for reminding everyone. If you guys have gotten value from any of the stuff I've produced, feel free to support the channel. I really appreciate it. Drone tech. Yeah, I mean, drone tech has hit a peak. It's like everything, right? SJM, the drone flyer. The Mavic 2, from most people, what you get from that is very, very good. It's hard to dispute that fact of how good that platform is and how good that drone quality is. So really, really good. Should you sell your Phantom 3 Standard and replace it with the Mini? Phantom 3, I still have my Phantom 3. I have my Phantom 3 Advanced. That was probably one of my favorite drones. The only thing I would say is not necessarily you have to. Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. Phantom 3 Standard, that's still Wi-Fi, isn't it? Isn't this standard Wi-Fi? Or correct me if I'm wrong on here. I don't have this. I don't have the standard. I have the advanced. Is the standard Wi-Fi? Because there's always a big difference between the Wi-Fi and the radio. So standard is Wi-Fi. Yeah, you guys confirming with that? Okay, sorry, I just don't have the standard. I have the advanced. The advanced is not Wi-Fi. So would you trade? Would I sell the Phantom? I mean, yeah, if you could sell the Phantom 3 Standard, I would probably just sell that anyways. How old is that thing? Like 5 years old, right? And it's not because it's a bad drone. This is the thing is with a lot of these drones, nothing's really that bad. The difference is ability to fly and to travel. Because of the fact that the reason why the Mini is doing so well or does so well, even the Mavics have done so well, is that it's portable. I don't fly my Phantom, even though you can see it right here. I don't fly it unless I know exactly where I'm going to go and it's a controlled environment. Because when I throw this thing up compared to my Mini, I mean, it's day and night difference, right? And if I always say, if the size of that drone is slowing you down from producing, then definitely look at the other opportunities or other options out there. Because when people always ask me what drone should I get, the biggest thing I always talk about is, one, what are you doing with it? What's your thanks, Steve. Thank you so much, man. For the super chat. Thank you. The one thing that everyone asks me, what are you doing with it? Sorry, lost my train of thought. What drone to get? I mean, if you are an existing photographer and you know your cameras, you know how settings work, you know how those things work, the only thing you're gonna really want is the Mavic 2 Pro. The Mavic 2 Pro gives you that option, gives you those options of like changing your settings, changing your aperture. So if you're coming from like a very, very skilled photography side of things, then the Mavic 2 Pro, there's almost no question about it, because you want to have that control. If you're somebody who's not good at photography or doesn't know much about photography in general, if you're somebody that throws everything in auto and you say, hey, I just want something that can get me up in the air fairly inexpensive, bang for buck is going to be the Mini. And then, and it's hard to really fight that, because, people will go, oh, well, you can't fly it that far. Well, I mean, if you're new to drones, why would you ever fly that far anyways? I mean, it really does take a while for you to get used to these things and feel confident. And I think the technology is absolutely amazing, but you are still, on a transmission-based system where anything can go wrong. So if you're new to drones, I would say get the Mini or get the Air. Probably the Mini more than the Air, if anything. But if you're coming from like a very more educated photography, videography background, where you're the type of person that has a camera that doesn't stick it on auto, and you use manual controls on your photo, you're going to want something like the Mavic 2 Pro, where you have a little bit more control over that. Especially, well, for photos, a lot of them you have options, right? Because for photos you can go manual controls and all this. But when you're in video, I think that's a bigger difference too, for the Mavic 2 Pro, where you can actually control a lot more, have a little bit more control over shutter speed, which is a bigger deal on shutter speed than it is on photos. So that's what, and I'm actually coming out with another video just talking a little bit more about, some of those differences about the drone lineups and things like that. One True Photography, thank you. Thanks you for your posts. I gotta go have a question answered. Thanks again. Look forward to more live discussion. Dude, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Hugo, what's going on? Please answer first. Sorry. Throw that question in there again, because I'm going to go back up. And hey, Kelly, Ready Set Drone. Thanks, man. Always good to see you, and love all the stuff you've been putting out. So I can't wait to see some more stuff that you've been putting with the Mavic 2 Pro. So check that out. Oh, I shouldn't be touching my face, but I did wash my hands, so it's okay. Yeah, currently selling my Spark for the Air 500, 550. Cool, nice. Stecky YT, what's going on, man? Shout out to you, buddy. All right, let's go back up a little bit more and see. Larry, what's up, Larry? Yeah, man, planes have been flying pretty low at the beach. Are they out of the allowed airspace? Definitely below 400. Helicopters in general, they own those skies, man. I don't question what they're doing. I don't. By the time I know what type of helicopter it is, it's you can't question it at this point. A lot of it could be search and rescue. A lot of it could be anything. It could be medical. On the West Coast here, we're surrounded by so many hospitals. So a lot of it could be airlift hospital stuff. So I'm not going to question, how legality wise where they should be and shouldn't be flying. We're at the mercy of them at this point. Will the Mavic Mini ever get a follow feature update? I don't think so. I think in my opinion, I think we've pretty much seen what the Mavic's going to get. And it is what it is. I don't think it's going to be one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, it's one of those must-have features. I think the tech is in there for them to put it and make it work. But I definitely think there's a lot of other things that can happen or might be needed in there that we don't know about, for it to work properly or better. Because the one thing you're not going to want them to do is put some half-baked follow me mode in there. Like I said, even though they have it and you can kind of like pseudo make a follow me by doing some of the smart modes, unless it's part of the build, then I would rather them not put it in than put a half-baked one. And the next thing you know, you're going to have more people complain and say, oh my God, my Mini crashed when it was following me. And that's what's going to happen. So I think we've probably seen what is going to be with the Mavic Mini. The only thing I think would have been a great thing, which I'm not sure if there was a hardware issue with it, was to give us some manual controls in video. That would have been a real big plus. But each one of these smaller things that we think might be a small change. I'm not an engineer, so they could be that. One small change could add that extra gram, or it could add that extra price jump and things like that. So for the price of what it is, I mean, $399, that's the reason why I didn't really dive in too deep on comments when people were complaining so much about what it doesn't have. Um, I think you just have to really look at what it's geared towards and who it's really for. It's really for the entry level person, to get started in drones, but to have something that's really, really good quality, high resolution 2.7, and can fly reliably. And I think that's what it's really what it is. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate your time, man. Thanks for spending the time with me, guys. This is awesome. How do you feel about the Evo? How do you guys? Yeah, let me know what you guys thoughts about the Evo too. I've been putting all my thoughts out there, but there's a lot of people that have been waiting for it. Do you guys even have it on pre-order, or did you guys pre-order it? Oh, actually, you know what? I don't even know if the pre-orders are. I know I have a link on mine that goes to B&H, but I don't know if anyone. I don't think anyone's even pre-ordered at this point, and I think. Even Evo said, be careful on who you pre-order it from. Make sure it's from one of the authorized dealers, because I think there's actually some scams out there that are going on where people are trying to take some pre-orders, but they're not authorized and they're just taking money. So yeah, just make sure, go onto Evo's website, look at who is the authorized dealers from them, and make sure you guys are going through one of them. So check those out. Yeah, DroneWorks. I believe DroneWorks is one too. So I think last time I checked, they Evo had, or Autel has, like, I think 20 people on that list of who's been who's part of their authorized dealers. Yeah, same. I think a lot of people that might have jumped in late. I don't have any updates on Mavic Air 2. Any release on that. So I'm not exactly sure if, when, or what's exactly going to be next. It does seem like there's going to be something coming out. I hope to get more information about whatever it is, because every time we do see some leaks, there's always been something that's right around the corner, or at least something that's with something that's going to come out. So we've seen leaks before from people, and next it's like, you'll see a leak of a drone, but then you also saw like the Osmo Pocket sitting there, and you also saw like the RoboMaster in the back. If you guys remember that photo that was shopped around. I mean, you see the photo, but then all those products ended up releasing like a year later. So it's hard to say, especially what's been going on now. Hard to say exactly what's going to happen. So. SR, which Mavic is the Evo meant to compete with? Well, then you talk about which Evo. I mean, basically, Autel made a competitor for each lineup of the Mavic. So that's exactly what it's meant to compete with. The Evo 8K is, with the zoom, with this one right here, is meant to go against the Mavic 2 zoom. The 6K 1-inch version is meant to go against the Mavic 2 Pro. And then the Enterprise one is meant to go against the Enterprise one. The Evo 1 is meant to go against the Mavic Pro. So they pretty much went back to back on that. So, or head to head. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Ouch. Crazy. Hey, you crashed your Evo 2 today? No way. Oh wait, is that crazy pay trick? I think that's you that has the videos, right? That has that got it. There you go. Hold on, jump on the chat. Oh, there you go. I'm from Sweden. Oh, I got my sweet drone in Sweden. That is awesome. Well, there you go, guys. So in the chat we have another person that has the Evo 2. So cool. Make sure you guys check out his channel too. If he has some content on there, I definitely want to check it out. I think that might be you that I saw that did get it. So if that's you, then awesome. Go check that out, and like I said, there's you're able to do a bunch of tests very similar to stuff I've done and stuff I haven't done. So people want to see more, and feel free to check those out, guys. SR, right now, do you see any new drones coming on the market that might shake up things in the drone world? Honestly, no. I think the Skydio shook it up a little bit. And I think it shook it up for the best, right? I think it's a really good of what they did and what they're able to produce with that thing and what it's able to do. Unreal. And I think that sets that type of bar and expectation, which is really good, to hopefully move over to things like maybe what they can integrate from the Skydio into like a Mavic 3 and hybrid these things here and there, because people will say the Skydio is really good at tracking, but the quality is okay. And then, and it's not that, as smooth as you want it to be if you're controlling with the remote, then you have this beacon. I mean, there's so many things like that, but I think that the Skydio, like I said, it's kind of like, it was like that jump of autonomous types of drones where the Mavic does what it does at a very, very, very high level. It does all, the package of what you need a drone to do. Skydio does, what it really is meant to do, and that is follow somebody and dodge things. But of course, it's technology. It's people are complaining, I can't believe my Skydio couldn't see a cable. I mean, the Tesla probably can't see a little wire in the road, and that's the most advanced system that we have. So, I mean, things are gonna happen, guys. You can't really say, nothing's invincible, right? So, it's unfortunate, but these cameras are flying at 40 miles an hour. It's not going to see an electrical line sometimes. So. Yeah, so recovery one drone. Yeah, Skydio had a good hype, but from a photography point, it's so-so. It's the best action type camera for vlog, and that's exactly what I said. I think it's definitely one that's there, and it was one of those things that I really thought it'd be, man, if they literally put a GoPro sticker on there, it would have been like a good balance, right? I think if it was like labeled the GoPro drone, that would have been good for GoPro. But I mean, the GoPro drone just kind of literally fell out of the sky. Yeah, no active track. The Skydio shipped to Australia. I'm not sure, Tim, if they ship. That's all. Got to hit them up. Extreme Marco, thank you so much, man. Limited budget, Mavic Air, Mavic Mini. Mavic Air, Mavic Mini. I like the Mini. The Air is great. It does have a little bit better, obstacle avoidance. It has APAS and it has RAW photos. However, in my opinion, if you're debating in between those two, I would go Mini. And one is sound. Another one is flight time. But there definitely is a quality difference between the Mavic Air and the Mavic Mini. So if you haven't seen a difference, then I would probably lean on that side of the Mini. But that's just me, and I think that some people with the Air can definitely have some things to say about it too, because it is a good drone as well. So it kind of goes from like the Mavic Mini, the Mavic Air, and then jumps all the way up to the Mavic 2 lineup, because we don't see any production anymore on the other ones. I don't think there's production on the Spark anymore. I don't think there's production on the Mavic Pro anymore. So we have the Mavic Mini. I mean, we have the Mavic Mini, we have the Air, then it jumps up to the Mavic 2 Pro and 2 Zoom and Phantom 4 P4 V2. So there is a gap right now that's happening in between those. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, best entry level photography drone. I mean, I'm gonna keep saying the Mini until otherwise you have the ability and understanding of what you want to do with like raw photos. If you want to, if you shoot raw, then you're going to have to jump up. You're going to want to jump up to a camera that does raw, and I believe the Mavic Air does raw, and everything above that does JPEG and raw. So if you do want the full capability of editing, then you're going to want to jump up to something that shoots JPEG and raw. But I mean, for most basic stuff, you can still take your high quality JPEG image, do some basic post production on it. It'll still come out really good. That's what I used to do a lot before, and you're not going to know. Most people won't notice the difference. It's really up to you as the shooter and the editor of which way you want to go. And that's the same thing that goes on with video. A lot of stuff that people want to shoot with video, they want to shoot with, they want to shoot log, and they want to shoot with all these profiles. So it's really up to how your process is and what you want to do, because you can have all these functions on there, but if you're not going to use them, then you might as well just dial down the production of it, right? You don't need that much. Dude, we've been on here for an hour. Holy cow. Thank you guys. This was pretty fun. Hello, John. I'll give you guys some Shy Henry, Artist Vice, Marshall. What is going on, guys? Hugo SR, Stecky, YT, John Jones. Hello from Colorado. Yeah, where are you guys from right now? What are you guys? It's like 2 o'clock here on the West Coast over in San Diego. I'm sure this everyone's from everywhere I'm looking at right here, which is kind of cool. Artist Vice, recommend the Egg X for beginners. Overall opinion of the camera quality. If you haven't seen that video, I did post that last week. Camera quality is okay. I mean, it's what to expect from a smaller camera. I mean, it's very similar. The sensors on size on that thing is very similar to, the Mavic Mini set. I think it's still 1/2 camera. It's a smaller censored camera. I think the quality is okay. But it all depends on what you want to do with it. My biggest thing with the Power Egg X is that it's doing a lot of things at an okay job. And that's something that scares me. I want something for me, I look at transmission as almost my number one thing to deal with. How good is my reception and transmission from myself to the drone? Because no matter how good your camera quality is, no matter how many auto features it has, no matter how long the battery life is, if you're flying out there and it disconnects, that's the scariest thing any pilot encounters. So I always look at how good is the transmission, and that is a big, big deal. When people say, I want to buy a Mavic Mini because I want to fly at 4 miles, I say, best of luck to you. And good luck, and let me know how that goes. Because of that fact that it's rated for that much, but it's Wi-Fi based too. When you're talking about OcuSync, a lot different, a lot stronger of a signal. It's just a much different type of thought process of what you're looking for in a drone. I look at reliability. How good are the Evos? I think the transmission on Evos is pretty solid. Definitely a lot better than some of the other ones I've flown. So I'll give the Evo that, as far as like, okay, I know I could trust it, right? To an extent, I know I could trust it. And then after that, it's going, okay, now what am I shooting, right? What am I shooting now? Do I need a specific type of resolution, a specific type of camera quality to get what I need to get? Thanks, Steve. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat, and thanks. Take care as well. But yeah, so I mean, when I look at like the Power Egg X, I go, it's awesome. It's cool for what it does. Am I ever going to use the handheld camera as an egg? Absolutely not. Some people wrote on my comments when I posted it. It goes, oh no, it works really well. Like I can put on a tripod and follow me. I mean, you could do the exact same thing with an Osmo Pocket. You could do, that with a lot of other things. No one's using it as a camcorder. So take that out of the equation. Now it's a drone. Cool. Works well as a drone. Definitely not the best signal. I've had breakups on that a lot. And then at the end of the day, it's a big drone. Once you put those legs on there, that thing is massive. It's actually bigger than any of the Mavics. It's wider. It's louder. So if you're buying it just to be a drone, then it's hard to say, yeah, it's a really good drone. Now, what I said exactly in my video, I said this thing could be a really good all-purpose, some sort of utility drone. And I think if you watch my video, I think that's where they miss it. Like I said, I think they missed an opportunity there to be a very, very interesting type of drone that they not just using for search and rescue. I'm just saying, but market it as some sort of other utility type of drone. And I think that's where they might have missed it there. They tried to market it as say, hey, you can turn this handheld egg into a drone, and then you can also track people and follow people. I mean, I think that's where they missed. That's just my opinion, because I look at it and I've flown it, I have it, and for the money, it's pretty expensive, right? $1,000, 1,200 something with the waterproof stuff. With that, you can buy an Osmo Pocket and a Mavic Mini, and you have both of those things without being waterproof. So that's my opinion on the egg, which I talked about in my video. Henry, free editing software. Shoot, what was it? I think the only one I play with, I don't know if no, actually I take it back. I don't think it's free, but they always have free trial stuff. Is like LumaFusion for photos. I think and for video too. I think they have stuff. I don't know if it's free, but I know they always have like free trials. So I would look into that. But it depends what you're trying to do. For video editing, honestly, like if you have a Mac or anything, I mean, if you have a Mac, then you have iMovie. I am the most simple editor. I know a lot of people who have literally like 30 timelines of 30 layers of stuff, and you can really sit down and always tweak stuff out forever. Yeah, DaVinci Resolve, David, that's actually a good one too. That a lot of people have been using. So DaVinci is a good one. I still use Final Cut. I'm on Final Cut, and I'll do After Effects, but mostly just Final Cut, and keep things really simple. Most of my timelines are really like 3 or 4 layers, if that. Most of my stuff is pretty simple and straightforward. I'm not the biggest storyteller, so where a lot of people who make all these cinematic vlogs and day in lives and have sound design and all these things on there. I mean, you can definitely tweak those out forever. So I don't do that stuff too much. The stuff I do is pretty basic. Do you see moving forward new develops in the software and not so much hardware? Yeah, I mean, the software. I mean, everything is just slowly, upgrading in increments. I don't see anything too crazy in software at this point. There's a couple, apps and stuff, which I know they tried to implement. I do like the little, small stuff here and there that they add in, like the panoramics and those things like that, which I think that they could still put that on the Mavic Mini as well, which I don't know why they didn't do that, because that's a pretty simple, I think, software update. But I don't see too much for software, because once you start going to software, which you might need something that's a little bit more intricate, would be something like mapping and those things where even like, they have it on there, but those use cases I think are a lot smaller. And for the people who do those professionally, a lot of people, I think, from what I know, I think they still use like the Phantom 4 Pro for a lot of like drone mapping. Yeah, dude, what's all right. So more stuff if I can. What more questions? If you guys want to throw some more questions in there. I've been on for an hour. This is crazy. Been on for an hour and 8 minutes. But for the first 10 minutes, I was trying to set up anyways. So what questions do you guys have? What shout outs do you guys want to hear from? Let me go back to my other questions. I talked about the Evo stuff. No new news yet about anything too new. I mean, there was the V copter at CES. So the V copter was one I definitely wanted to try. But same thing with that company. They kind of went crickets. I had a lot of conversation with a lot of people from there, from their reps over at Vcopter or whatever they were called. Sure, I forgot the company name. But after CES, this thing happened, and after that, it was that was it. I didn't hear much from anything from there. So no updates on the Vcopter if and when that's supposed to come out, if it does. Yeah, Recovery One drone. What's going on? Mark S. With the Mavic 2 and Evo, still loving it. Yeah, I mean those are great. Oh yeah, 00. That's right. Leon, what's up, man? Yeah, 00. Nothing from them, so I haven't heard anything from them. With Autel, will Autel override DJI in the near future? I don't foresee any of that happening. Mainly because of what is out there. You know, DJI has 20 products, 30 products, and they all do really, really well. The thing with them is they're able to manufacture and get it out there, get feedback, and change things. I really like the Evo platform so far. But, you know, when it comes down to some of these things right now, you know, they're you know, it's a lot of deja vu for people, it seems, because everyone I know that ordered Evo 1s took forever to get their Evo 1. It took them till like 6 months to get Evo 1. You know, there's at CES, they were like, we're ready to ship. And then it's, you know, almost April. And no one's really gotten them. So I don't see anything happening as far as the drone industry going of who's going to take over anybody. I do not see that as a thing. So, yeah. Hey, buddy, you want to say hi to everybody? Before I'm on live. Hey, here's my son. He just woke up from his nap. Say hi.
Hi.
There you go. You gonna go play?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, dude. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, Leon. 86% of the market. Oh, Alex, buddy, can you pull it? Thanks. Yeah, 86. I mean, yeah, their market cap is. I mean, their market's huge. So I don't see anything happening with there. My Evo 1 came back with a new gimbal. My Evo 1 came back with a new gimbal, and now most of the time I never use anything but auto on the camera. It is better than when I got it. I do a lot of bright snow videos and don't even use filters. Yeah. Where do you announce the winners of the DCL keys? I messaged about 6 people of the 9 on the comment section. And so yeah, they 6 people know. I still have 3 keys, 1 for each system left. Actually, you know what? Let me see here. I can actually. What do you guys have? PC? Yeah, here's a funny one. I'm gonna throw a key up here, and the first one to grab it and use it. So you guys can grab it and use it and activate it already, but it's up to you guys to do it. So I'll put it up, and you guys have to fight. I'll do it at the end. You guys have to leave the stream then, because I don't want you leaving the stream yet. We'll end this in like 10 minutes or so, but I'll throw up a key on here, and we'll see what we have. So you guys can go. So if you guys have a PS4 or an Xbox or a PC, I don't know which one I'm going to give away yet, but you might want to power it up and get ready to enter the key. That way you can snag it from everyone else. And yeah, we'll go. I've been on for like, you know, an hour and 15 minutes. So definitely we'll end this shortly, but I do appreciate it. We do have people that have been in and out. So pretty cool. Coinway. Yeah. When is the Mavic Air 2? No release dates over here. Nothing new. I'm seeing the same stuff that you guys are seeing online. So I have no idea when the Mavic Air 2 is going to be out. There was leaks of a new drone, what it's going to be called, what it is, what the exact specs are. We're all waiting for that too. But as you guys know, sometimes I do get some stuff early, and I don't have anything all the stuff I have here is all the same stuff. You can see my Phantom 4, my Mini. What else do I have? Evo 1, Evo 2. So wish there was more I can share at this point, because it would be really nice to share something new, especially when everyone just wants some new content to be excited about and to talk about, especially during this downtime. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. There's Xbox. Yeah, everyone's got a little bit of everything on here. So cool. What's going on, Eric Shirts? Long-time supporter. Really appreciate you, man. 2 years ago, watched you about 42. I love flying drone on Cuban. Thanks, man. Black. BMAC aerial visuals. Thank you very much. I'm kind of bummed. Where did he go? The one who had the Evo 2 crash. He said he crashed it. Now, I was hoping he would stick around and give us some story on that, but maybe we'll have to do something with. I think it's crazy something. Yeah. So actually, I'm curious. Are you guys, for everyone in lockdown, right? Including especially us here. I think it's like going out. Like I went out yesterday, and for me, I kind of considered it like that was my what do you call it? Light recreation. Like, you know how people go jogging? I'm still by myself, so hopefully that's allowed to just go fly by yourself, I guess. Hopefully that's an approved approved light recreation. Thanks, John. How do I set up a GoFundMe account? I don't know. Hugo, have you just go sign up on GoFundMe, I guess. Oh yeah, crazy Patriot. What happened? What happened to Evo 2? Just throw it in there and let everyone know real quick, just so. One, was it your fault? Let's just get that out of the way. Was it pilot error, or what? Or was it the drone? Okay. Yeah, I think Leon, I don't have the Polar Pro variables, man. I would love to play with those. I have the Moment ones, which I have the Moment variable NDs, which I've been using. I actually just flew with them today. I don't have the Polar Pro ones though, so can't really talk about that. But yeah, we'll go for another, like, a little bit, maybe another 5 or 10 minutes. If you get in your questions, if you guys had some more questions, and let me know your thoughts on like the live stream. This is kind of just a spur of the moment one. I definitely want to have, look into this. And I mean, we do have some people watching, which is kind of cool. I definitely want to get a little bit more of a structured question and answer. This was literally like, it's Sunday, we're all home, and if you guys have nothing to do, let's just hang out. So if you guys are liking the live stream stuff in general, just want to get on and talk, I definitely would be very open to doing this, and maybe we can set up some time. Yeah. All right, Benny. Thanks for the poop. And you are blocked. Watching the video now, and then let's see here. Watch the video now. Should I get Air or wait for Gen 2? Coinway. Should I get the Mavic Air? Like I said earlier, it all depends on what you want to do with it, and what your expectations from it, and your knowledge around also like post-production stuff like that. So hard to say what to get. I don't know exactly what you want to. A lot of times people always ask too. And I like to compare things with. Do you want to use your cell phone, or do you want to use like a DSLR? And that's to make it a little bit easier for people when they ask me about drones. I go, well, you can use your phone to shoot video and photos, or you can use a DSLR and you have more control over things. Which one you want to do? At the end of the day, it's like A lot of it is up to the pilot's eye, the composition. You can give the most talented photographer or videographer the best drone, but that does not mean they're going to come out with anything good. Or you can give somebody that's really talented and fly with their Mavic Mini and get unbelievable types of footage. It is all based on the operator, all based on what story you're telling, how you're telling it, how you're shooting, where you're flying, how dynamic the footage is, how you're grading. I mean, there's so many variables to it, right? That it's just too hard to say that you're going to recommend one or the other. Like I said earlier, I think the biggest thing for me is the comfortability factor up in the air, and transmission for me is always like my number one priority. Do I have the Ronin Drone Lord? Do I have the Ronin S? Yes, I do have the Ronin S. Yeah, Graham Johnson. I also have the Mavic Mini, but it's too windy to fly. Yeah, so I mean that's another thing, right? People will talk about how windy, it's not that stable in the air. I mean, it is pretty damn stable, but it's one of those things where you're like, oh man, can I trust it up there, taking gusts of wind? And that's the scary part, right? So if you're flying in heavy windy conditions, I mean, you just have to use your best judgment. If you get to a bigger platform, it could take those things, right? You get to the Mavic and the Phantoms. I mean, it could take a lot before anything is really obvious in your video footage. But yeah, the Mavic Mini is a very small drone, and you just can't expect it to do things that the bigger boys can do. The same way you can't expect a smaller budget camera to do stuff that the big cameras do. So it is what it is as far as the package it comes in and what you get for what is produced for the money. My Osmo 3 Pocket. There's an Osmo 3 Pocket. Should the Mavic Air 2 be better than the Mavic 2 and Autel 2? I don't know what you mean by better. Probably not, because if it's just a successor to the Mavic Air, then that means it's more likely to be below the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 and the Evo 2 Pro. So I would assume anything, the successor to the Mavic Air 2 is just going to be that next thing, right? George Cini, one of your batteries damaged. I would just message DJI about that one and see if you can maybe get a replacement on that. Yeah, Mavic Mini. What do you think about the Mavic Mini? Best first drone. No question about it. I think there's not much, and it's not till you get comfortable with flying and then you feel like you need to have those other quality options, then you do it. But for people to, I think, complain about not having 4K, I mean, most of the stuff I still shoot is in 1080. So it comes down to, do you require 4K? 2.7 is really good, and then you can still crop into 1080, which is awesome, and I do that a lot. So I don't see 4K as being a downside. I think if you need 4K for a specific reason, then you need 4K. You just do it. Oh, look who is here. What's going on, Ken? My coffee fund is funded by Original. Yeah, there is Original Dobo. Make sure you guys hit him up as well. Has a bunch of content. Same with a bunch of other guys that are on here. If you guys have your drone channels, it's always good. Like I was shouting out, 51 earlier was here. I think who was it? Quadcopter Guide. I think I saw you stop in, and Russ, and then Kelly. I mean, there's so many drone channels that I follow as many as I can, or to an extent. But feel free to link up with us or link up with some other people, because some people have a great content out there, and if it's just not necessarily like on the radar, if it doesn't pop up sometimes on like feeds or recommended, I don't really know about it, but I love watching some other stuff. Like I said, there's a guy that just crazy um, that got his Evo 2. I definitely gonna, I'll subscribe to him just so I can get some updates and see exactly what's happening in the field. I definitely want to see what people are going through, maybe things I should look out for. So I'm all ears for seeing and trying to understand other people's experiences with what they're flying with. So make sure you guys message myself or other people that you want to connect and just see exactly how we can best provide quality content for people out there. Yeah, crazy Patrick. Crazy Patrick. What a Patrick. What, Jesus Christ. Crazy. Yeah. So in 5 minutes, what I'll do is we'll probably end this. I've been on here for a while, but I do want to get you guys. I'll throw out a little key for the DCL game if you guys have that. And like I said, first one up there to snag that code and use it. So good luck on that. Nice and easy. Explains a lot. Let's see here. Yeah, what is up? Yeah, if you guys have Mike, aka the Drone Rangers. I mean, there's some like drone channels I don't know about, and not that I'm not trying to not follow people, but honestly, like I ideally like to like get a product and use it before I start getting influenced by people or watching too many other things. But I do want to see what's been done, what's out there, and seeing how my how similar our experiences are. Actually, crazy Patrick, cool that you're here. You're packing up the Evo 2 for return. Awesome that you were able to get it. I mean, hopefully it was a final production. Do you know if it was a final production, or do you have like a connect that you got like a pre-final production unit? So hopefully your camera, I haven't seen if you did like a camera comparison yet, but as you probably saw, if you haven't seen on mine, I haven't, you saw my camera was really soft on the Evo side. So hopefully you got one that was, your camera was fixed, or you got the software bug out of there. So I'm not sure. Well, there it is. So yeah, so it was not final. So it's kind of frustrating because a lot of people are asking me like, how come we're not doing any more videos? I go, I don't know what else you want me to do. I could do more, try to crash, videos. I don't know. Do you want me to see me? Like I said, I try to do videos I do, and not necessarily try to push it into things I just don't normally do. So, okay, good to know that you have a pre-production or not a final version. So, I don't know if you see it though, but you can see it in my videos that there is a focus issue, or there's a little softness happening in 8K. The 8K just isn't where everyone expects it to be, so I was really hoping you said that you had a final unit. So I'm kind of bummed, honestly. Can you get a Mavic Mini to start Can you get a Mavic Mini to start a small business? Sure. Why not? If you're ridiculously talented and good at flying with the Mavic Mini and you're able to produce something, by all means, you can start any business with it. Is it something that you're going to want in the longer run? If you have clients that are asking for higher quality, then you're going to have to make that change. Oh crap, my bad. It said it was a final. I'm reading it wrong. Oh, so you do have a final. Okay, good. So I'm not sure if you did a full like test, but hopefully your 8K and 4K, hopefully you don't have that software bug on there. So I'm not sure I'm not sure what, if you just purchased it outright and you just really got it early, or if you have somebody there that hooked you up. Hopefully you don't have that issue where a lot of the people that's, the reason why they sent out that email is a lot of people had a software issue. So I'm not sure how really clear yours is. I'll definitely take a look at it in a bit. Yeah. Okay. Good to know you have a final version. So yeah, I guess check that out. I mean, he has a final. Hopefully, his quality is and the software and the camera has been fixed. I mean, it's kind of hard to know if it's been fixed or not if you don't have something to compare it to. But hopefully it's better. Thanks, Conway. All right, guys. Hour and a half. Did not expect that, but awesome time hanging out with you guys. Let me throw out here, if you guys are okay with it, we're going to end the stream, mainly because I can hear my kids waking up right now, and they're going to probably start coming in here. So we will end it. I want to thank you guys again for hanging out. It's definitely something that wanted to do, especially with what's been happening. So thanks. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, a like would be kind of cool before you exit. That'd really help out the channel, I think. I'm not exactly sure about how the algorithm works too much with live streams at this point. So we'll see how this goes. But let me throw out a key here. And we will go with... all right, I'm going to go with the PC key. Okay? How's that? So if you guys want the DCL game, I am going to paste a key for the PC. So if you guys want to input that in, good luck with that. And hopefully you guys are seeing other fellow drone flyers here in the chat. Make sure you guys are, kind of spreading the love around and following each other and helping each other out. I really do appreciate you guys coming here and supporting the channel. So thank you so much. And thanks to everyone that did send a super chat. Very, very much appreciated. It'll go towards some good coffee. But here's a PC key right there. I was going to post this on my comments. I already gave away 6 on my comments. So first one to grab that one, I will now take this one off my list. And that is given live stream. And I will hopefully ask DCL and THQ if they can give me another one so I can make up for that one. But yeah, man, thank you guys so much. Like I said, check out everyone else that's in this stream that are also some drone content creators, and throw that support around. That's good just to know, and to also do a little bit more research before you guys purchase these things. I think that's what we ideally want to get at here. And we want to be able to provide you guys as much value as we can as we experience all the things that we're experiencing. So if we have opportunities to do that on this platform, that's exactly what I want to do. So thank you guys very, very much. And until next time, I definitely will try to set up some sort of maybe every other couple of weeks we'll do a live stream or things like that. But actually during this time, if this thing is going to be locked down for a couple months or a couple of weeks or a few weeks, I definitely want to jump on again and get this set up so we can have a little bit different of an outline, and I'll probably throw out some questionnaires and stuff before that so that we can get a nice list of questions and answers that we can go through. So that is about it, guys. I appreciate your time, and hope to see you, and hope you guys are all going to be very safe. I hope I was able to provide you guys some sort of break during this time. Make sure you guys are staying indoors, are safe, are well stocked, and I will see you guys on the next live stream. So take care, everyone.